Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Inna alhamdulillah nahmadu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wa salatu wa salam ala alihi wa la sahbihi wa ajma'in. The praises for Allah, the praises for Allah, and then the praises for Allah. Indeed, the praises for Allah. We seek his guidance. We seek his protection, his forgiveness, his assistance. We seek refuge with Allah from the evil which manifests from within our own selves and the harm thereof. I give open testimony that there is no deity worthy of worship but Allah. Highly glorified is He. I give further testimony that Muhammad, to whom the Quran was revealed, is his servant and messenger. Peace and prayers be upon him. Peace and prayers be extended to his family, his companions, and all those who are gathered in righteousness. Amen. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. O you who believe, have taqwa for Allah, as it is proper to have taqwa for Him, and die not except in a state of Islam. Die not except as believers. Alhamdulillah, Allah has allowed us to see the completion of the fast of Ramadan. I greet you all. Assalamu alaikum and Eid Mubarak.
Walaikum assalam, Eid Mubarak.
In this brief khutbah, we want to address this Eid khutbah. We want to address some things that are critical for our celebration, for our understanding of this celebration, and how we engage it, the spirit in which we engage it. Allah has allowed us to complete this cycle of fasting. As Allah says in the Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you, as it was prescribed to those who came before you, that you may be of those who have taqwa, that you may learn. The common rendering we see is that you may learn self-restraint. But it is not a self-restraint simply of I'm putting myself in shackles. It is a self-restraint that is an awareness of the oneness and the magnitude, the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a self-restraint and an awareness that is rooted in understanding the natural fitra, the natural disposition and pattern on which Allah has created the human being. And that is one of submission. That is one of submission to Allah's will and to carry out what Allah has dictated that we do. So Allah has made us the vicegerents. He has made us the custodians and the caretakers, not just of creation, but He has made us the caretakers of our own lives and of each other. And the way that we do that is by being in constant awareness and constant remembrance and a constant state of gauging our own purity, gauging our own intention. Right? So Allah gives us in Surah Al-Shams, I'm going to read the 6th through the 9th ayah that have particular relevance for this talk. Bismillah. وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا فَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. Surely Allah speaks the truth. And there's by the earth and its wide expanse, by the soul and the proportion and order given to it, and its enlightenment as to its right and its wrong. Truly He succeeds that purifies it, and He fails that corrupts it. Surely Allah speaks the truth. And surely Allah gives us admonition and guidance that if we respond to it, it elevates our lives. It corrects those places in which we err, and it allows us to reach our full potential. So when I said that this talk is designed not just as an ode to the fact that we have come through this month of Ramadan, and Allah has allowed us to, inshallah, be successful in the completion of the fast, but to also understand that this is an ongoing process. So to be measured in that celebration, because Allah says that truly He who purifies the soul has succeeded, and the one who corrupts it has failed. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. called the aflaha man zakaha, the one you have achieved victory. You have achieved a sense of cultivation, of refinement through the purification of the soul. And this is the month, or the month we've just come out of. We're in Shawwal now. But the month of Ramadan has been given us precisely for us to gain this sense of taqwa, which is in itself the parameters and the boundaries in which our purification is determined. This makes sense. So our purification is determined by our taqwa, right? The purity for which that we live, that we speak with, that we engage each other with. This is all rooted back to our taqwa. This all is rooted in an understanding that this world, our engagement with this world, is going to get you dirty. Right? There's no way around that. You can't farm and not get dirty. Right? You can't build in this earth and not get some dirt on it. Right? That's just par for the course. That's life. But what we can do is take those moments that Allah has given us through the salat, through the zakat, through fasting, through the hajj, through the pillars, through the profession of our faith, through the way that we treat one another, through the way that we treat ourselves. And this is the point that I want to get into in terms of the celebration that we are, inshallah, feeling, right? We're feeling celebratory. Some of us are feeling celebratory, but I have a particular, I feel it is my duty to speak to the individuals, right? Because there's more than one, to speak to the individuals who may feel that this Ramadan was not what they thought it was going to be, who may feel like they did not do as good a job in reaching whatever plateau, whatever level that they had aspired to. What is really important for us to understand, dear Muslims, is that Allah tells us in the Quran, it says Allah is the grantor of laughter and tears. And in a recent halaqah, we were speaking about this, he said that this is not a sequential occurrence. This doesn't mean that I'm happy right now, things are good this year, then things are bad the next year. Although that very well could be the case. But what it's also saying is that these things exist at the same time in community and sometimes even our own lives. Sometimes things are so difficult or so shocking that all you can do is laugh in a position where you might be, somebody might think the outcome would be tears, and vice versa. So this has been a month of trial. It's been a month where Allah has given us very unique circumstances. He has given us His rahmah. And this rahmah, this word is also of mercy. It is also rooted in the word womb. He has given, and you see this as you get older, as an adult, right? You miss your childhood. If you had a safe and comfortable childhood, and you had parents that attended to you, that loved you, once you start paying bills and having to make decisions, and you have children of your own, and you just going through the mix of what it means to be a responsible person in this life, you miss your childhood. You miss certain elements of your childhood. You want to go back to that, but there's no going back. But Allah gives us, in His rahmah, He gives us a month every year where we get to return into a spiritual womb of sorts. Through our fasting, through this domination, well, that's not the right word, I don't say domination, through our control, through the authority that we exert over this human vessel that Allah gives us. We get to reach a different level of understanding. We have a different engagement and a different relationship with Allah, inshallah. But as I said, I want to speak, in these moments, I also want to speak to the individuals who may have felt like this Ramadan, they did not get to do everything that they did, because there are a lot of us. There are a lot of people who feel like this Ramadan was the best Ramadan ever. I finished the Quran without having to go through 5 or 6 days of power reading, right? Because I got, I'm still working, I'm still out in life, and I got behind, so I had to read 3 or 4 juz a day to make sure I finished. and I didn't really get to contemplate on Allah's word. I didn't get to have discussions with my family, with community about Allah's word. I didn't get to really let it sit and allow me to reflect and to grow with it, to grow from it. Right? Those were Ramadans in the past. So this Ramadan on so many levels, even as we look at this particular platform that we've had to engage in, there's a term, unmasked. Unmasked. That means the people who they have left the masjid, right? They don't feel like they are welcome. Whatever the reasons are behind it. Whatever the reasons are behind it, but they feel like they have been pushed out. They don't feel welcome. These platforms have allowed people to come back in the doors with a feeling of security. Alhamdulillah. That's Allah's rahmah. That's Allah's mercy. This platform, not just this particular one we're talking about, but these circumstances have allowed us to see how much we value one another and how much we want to stay connected to one another. And the community is a rahmah. The community is a womb as well. Allah says, reverence your guardian Lord and the wombs that bore you. Your mothers, right? But also the communities, the social structures, the intellectual foundations that have paved the way for you to function as you do, to see things as you do, to respond to the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam speaking about the breath of the faster. It says the breath of the faster is the sweetest. To Allah, it is as sweet as musk. The sweetest, whatever your designer stuff is, you wear, Gucci, Claiborne, I don't know. I wear one thing, oud. That's my thing now. But whatever your thing is, whatever the best fragrance is, that to Allah, that breath of that faster, the breath that was offensive, the breath that was a mark of your dedication, your submission, and your obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that was offensive to everybody else, to those around you who did not understand what that odor meant. To Allah, that was the most pleasing thing. That was pleasing as the most pleasing fragrance that you could imagine. Allah gave us a month where our obedience, we understood how it pleased Allah. It pleased Allah. And our celebration, let us not forget that obedience was pleasing to Allah. Our breath smells good right now. Right? You're able to brush your teeth. You're feeling good. You're not offensive. You can walk out. You can talk. Well, different circumstances, right? Because you got the mask on. Well, at least in your mask, you're not hurting yourself. Right? Alhamdulillah. But at some point, we imagine where people are going to, they're going to be able to smell your breath, but it's not about the breath. What it's about is that taking a stance of obedience to Allah it's often going to put you outside the group. It's often going to make you look like the odd man, odd woman out. And we got to be comfortable with that because we know that is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That makes us pleasing to Allah. So Allah has given us community because we don't fast in isolation. I mean, your fast is your fast. My fast is my fast. But it's the community as we come together and are able to reflect on the fast, on what we are learning about ourselves, on how we are growing, how we are developing as we engage with Allah's word. Because once again, remember, we just came out of a month that commemorates the revelation of the Quran, that commemorates the commission of prophethood from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's the month, that's the womb we just came out of. So we better act like it. We better act like we just got through reading the Quran, whether you finished the Quran or you were just stuck. I don't want to say stuck, or you were just focused in one surah. Whether you made it halfway through, 3/4 through, whatever you made it through, you were contemplating on it, and you were still living your life. And as I say, for some of us, this was a wonderful, Ramadan was a wonderful month. We got to enclose ourselves. We got to press the pause button. We got to become closer to our families and closer to our brothers and sisters. But Allah is a grantor of laughter and tears. And also during this month, there were people who were fasting, and they were enclosed with people who were an enemy to them. They were enclosed, they were quarantined or sheltering in place with people who meant them harm. Dear believers, let us understand that the blessing and the mercy that Allah has given us, it is not a blessing or a mercy that everybody gets at the same time. But sometimes, and within the struggle, you will find ease. Right? You will find some ease in that struggle if you know where to look. So even in the difficulty, so some are going to have ease, and they will just be man, this is wonderful. What could go wrong? Right? Don't think like that. And some will have difficulty and figure, like, when is this going to end? Don't think like that. Respond to Allah's mercy. Respond to Allah's trial with faith. With faith. If there's anything that this month has given us, whether it has been a positive or a trial or a challenge, we should have responded to that, or we should reflect on that with faith, knowing that Allah knows exactly what we need. Because this is Eid al-Fitr. This is the celebration of the return to the origin. Our origins are rooted in God consciousness. Our origins are rooted in taqwa. Are rooted in obedience, and willful obedience, and obedience that makes us feel good. So, dear believers, as Allah has gave us a beautiful gift. He gave us a gift in the ease, and He gave us a gift in the trial. But the one who is successful is the one who is constantly mindful of the disposition of their own soul. Surely the one who purifies his soul, her soul, has succeeded. The one who corrupts it has failed. So there's no way for us to get through this life without getting the results, the residue of life on us. But we thank Allah for giving us systems of purification. We thank Allah for giving us a word that corrects, that guides, that is clear. There's a lot of things that's going to change. But we know Allah is the first, He is the last. Al-awwalu wal-akhiru wal-dhahiru wal-batinu. He is the evident, He is the hidden. Allah is the constant. The khatib will change, the kitab stays the same. The kitab stays the same. Allah's guidance stays the same. So let's not let our guards down. Let's not see the completion of the fast as the end of our obedience, as the end of our reflection. Let's take, I've said this before, if you've heard me speak on this before, you heard me say, let's not lose those Ramadan gains. Let's take them with us. Let's take that mental disposition that it's okay to stand out. It's okay to be different. If that means I am pleasing to Allah. So we put Allah first. And in closing, I want to say that as my own experience, and my experience does not speak for everyone, has demonstrated that it is allowed for me to grow closer. And I pray that others feel the same way, closer to the community. We've had some wonderful experiences. I want to say, because it's customary, a lot of times we will say during this particular time, we'll ask forgiveness because we've just come out of those last 10 days of asking forgiveness, exemption from the hellfire. It is customary. We like to tell people we ask for forgiveness. But anything that I've done, I've wronged you, I'm asking for forgiveness. But you know what? May Allah give me the courage. May Allah give you the courage, if you know you have wronged someone, to address that. To address it. And if we don't get to the point where we're able to address it immediately, let's not give up on each other. Because we know the fitra. We know what our natural disposition is. And we know we just came out of a month where we did, inshallah, we did the best that we could with what we have where we are. To be pleasing to Allah, to be obedient to Allah, to engage in His book, to engage in reflection, to pray, to be the best version of ourselves. And whatever that is right now, I pray that we as brothers and sisters can be good with each other wherever we are right now, knowing that our intention is to be better. Knowing that our intention is ultimately to be pleasing to Allah. So may Allah make us of those who are merciful to one another. May Allah make us of those who receive Allah's mercy with gratitude. May Allah make us of those who receive Allah's trial with faith that Allah knows what is best for us. And that through every difficulty, we emerge, inshallah, if we enter it with faith, we emerge better, we emerge stronger. We emerge better prepared and able to support not only ourselves, but our families and the community and the world. So I pray that Allah continues to bless us. I pray that Allah is blessing each of you and your families, your loved ones. I pray Allah continues to protect us and to give us the strength, the tenacity, the faith, and the disposition that puts Allah first and continues to allow us to seek Allah's pleasure. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Our Lord, give us good in this life, give us good in the hereafter, protect us from the torment of the fire. Amen. Assalamu alaikum.